Hi, welcome back. My name is Chris. I'm a French teacher at OuiCommunicate. I think this video I'm about to make will either be a moment of complete revelation for some, or on the contrary, very underwhelming for other people. And I think that I might even be accused of stating the obvious. But there is a difference between knowing the obvious and knowing the obvious, actually applying the obvious. So this being said, let's talk about that simple word that separates successful French learners from non-learners. I'd like to start with a bit of context. There is indeed a simple, almost magical word that makes all the difference between those who successfully learn French and those who unfortunately do not. And as a French teacher, it's a pattern I've noticed with consistency across many students, and it's almost eerie. The students who say it succeed, and those who don't say it don't succeed. It's eerie. And most of them, those who do say it, aren't even aware of it. So what is this word? It's the word I decided, as in I decided to learn French. And I'm not trying to be clever, mystical or philosophical. This is a fact. Take it from me, it's a fact. And I've heard it from Brie, who's on the homepage, the American lady who speaks brilliant French, got so good at French that we actually did a podcast in French. Started French in the 50s, got brilliant at French. I heard it from Jenny in recent memory. You might recognize yourself, Jenny. And others also, of course, many others. So why is the word I decided so important? Because it really is very important. And it's not just psychobabble in the parlance of today. It's really not. It's actually very deep, because it's the way our brains work. Because the word decided is powerful, because it opens up a pathway in our imagination towards the future. And I'll say that again. When you say I decided, you're opening up a pathway in your imagination towards the future. And I am absolutely very serious about this. It creates a mental road towards seeing yourself speak French fluently. And once that road is traced, you start walking it practically, but also on a subconscious level. And we can laugh about it, and we can say it's not true, it's psycho, what's it? But the fact is that it works for big things, but also for small ones. And it's right under our noses. Think about a simple everyday task like deciding to go and get some cheese from the shop. So you want to go and get cheese from the shop. When you say that, you've committed to the action. Because you don't say, I'll sort of try to drive in the direction of the supermarket and maybe I'll get past the front doors, and if I don't lose focus I'll eventually look for the cheese and I hope I'll be able to get back to my car. Of course not. You see the end goal when you go and buy cheese, and you even see yourself home with the cheese in your fridge. And this is why you were successful at buying cheese. It's right under our nose. It's how life works. In our minds, the mission is already accomplished when we decide to go and buy the cheese. And this same principle applies to bigger goals, including the goal to master French. When I passed my university degree, it was incredibly hard. It was the most dreary years ever, those 6 years. But I hadn't just decided to participate. I wasn't a participant in this. I had decided that it would happen, that I would leave with a degree. So I studied with certainty, with the assurance, with the conviction that I was leaving with a degree, whatever happened. And that's why I succeeded. So now I'd like to ask you the question, did you actually ever decide, as in deciding to learn French? Did you ever decide this? What was the quality of your decision? Because if you ever fail at learning French, or at least give up, I don't want to use the word fail, if you give up, well, I think it's worth looking back at the initial decision that you made. Did you make a decision at all, or did you sort of express a vague wish? Did you ever open up that highway into the future, or did you rather just picture yourself with a textbook, with a vague plan of learning French and seeing yourself engage with YouTube or something, or an app? What did you see in your mind's eye? Did you see yourself in the process of learning French, or did you see yourself in your mind's eye having already learnt it? Because I'll say it again, that difference in mindset is the number one differentiator between those who succeed at French and those who sadly don't. Those who quote unquote failed, or at least gave up, didn't make a proper decision. They had a hope, they had a weak commitment, a vague interest, and they're sort of like a visitor in a museum with their arms behind their back, pointing at things and saying, oh look, there's some French there, how interesting. There was no mental road towards French that was opened for them. If you look at the truly successful people you know, it doesn't have to be financial, look at the truly successful people you know. Michael Jordan, for example. Do we think Michael Jordan became Michael Jordan by accident? Did he wake up one morning saying, oh, look at me, I'm Michael Jordan? Do you know he barely made the first draft, but he saw himself as a successful player and as a champion. The next person I'd like to talk about is Evander Holyfield, the heavyweight boxing champion, and I have a little video prepared where he actually says, as an 8-year-old, the first time he went to the boxing club, he was 8 years old, came home, told his mum about his intentions. Minutes afterwards, he was standing in front of the mirror, the heavyweight boxing champion of the world. He was 8 years old, but he wasn't trying to make it happen. I believe he accidentally made it happen. I think he opened up that motorway towards the heavyweight championship. And I do think he opened up that highway towards the future by accident as a kid. But the fact is, it worked. And I propose we listen to him now say it.
I looked in the mirror and said, Evander Holyfield, the heavyweight champion of the world. It didn't sound good, but I said it. I kept saying it every time I go to the bathroom. I like this because I really want to make my mama proud. My mama said I could be the heavyweight champion of the world.
I find this interview amazing. I'm blown away by this. It's sort of ordinary magic just beneath our noses. It's just in front of us. And I don't even know if Evander Holyfield, because he's surrounded by a table of champions, obviously there's Mike Tyson there, these are very, very high achievers. And I don't even know if Evander Holyfield himself has ever rationalized it. That thing he did when he was 8 years old. And these people who are obviously walking towards their goals, we've all met them in high school around us, maybe they're even members of our family, but we're quick to dismiss this and call it natural talent. So we don't feel left behind, let's be honest, we don't feel left behind. We have excuses, we say they're naturals, or they're hustlers, they're naturals, they have the gift of the gab, they have whatever gift nature gave them, and we attribute their success to gifts that we ourselves don't have. It makes us feel better, so we don't feel left behind. But what they really have is quite simple. They made a decision. And again, these are just ordinary people who are walking towards the future on this invisible highway that we can't see and that may even be subconscious, but they're going towards their goals and they are going to achieve them. So all this being said, what can you do about this practically? How does one make a better promise to oneself? Should you sign your name in blood somewhere? Should you go and pray to all the gods of the Olympus? Of course not. But what I would say is simply this. Examine the quality of your decision, because I can't help you make a better decision. But I can say that as a teacher, I've only ever met good learners of French who also said, I decided. That's the best I can do for you. But I can also do something else for you. As we established, your decision is the number one differentiating factor in your success. But a decision alone isn't enough, unfortunately, and this is where OuiCommunicate comes in. Because the Duolingos of this world were not made for future champions, and neither are most of the top pages of Google. Because a champion looks for the unusual, because their decision is unusual. It's not a usual thing at all to say, I can see myself speaking French, getting good at French. Most people decide, I'm going to get involved with French in some way. It's a very rare thing to look ahead and say, I'm going to get good at this thing and I can already see myself accomplish it. That's the minority of people. You can't use an average tool that's designed for everyone and no one on the first pages of Google if you want to accomplish that. If your decision to learn French is genuine, You'll need a way to learn that will honour your commitment and won't let you down. And this is where OuiCommunicate comes in. My name's Chris from OuiCommunicate. I teach French professionally. Find me at OuiCommunicate.com. I hope this video was useful. See you soon in a French class. Bye.